Coach Hart has the Crimson Tide playing at a high level, and Samantha Bohan, she has some familiarity with SEC soccer, was an assistant coach at Tennessee in the early 2000s, and last 15 years, the head coach of Embry-Riddle, also some great club experience for her as well.
Yeah, I think, Coach Bohan is bringing a new look to Florida Gators, and what you can tell the most is how proud she is of this group. She just talked so highly of the grit, the competition, the care. So I'm really excited to see what the next years have to come for Coach Bohan.
Yeah, Florida's lost 4 players already on a very thin roster going into it, but she says the fight, the spirit has been there every day at training, and this is the time of the year where players, if you're not getting results, you don't like training as much, but the Gators have.
Yeah, they certainly have a lot of fight in them, and Alabama by no means can consider this game to be already over. They've got to respect the Gators. They're a good side. They've played some really strong teams this year and kept them to one-point losses, so they still got a lot of fight.
Underway in Tuscaloosa between Florida and Alabama. And what's been a year of first for the Crimson Tide. Alabama's trying to win for just the second time ever against Florida, as already we're seeing some physical play.
Yeah, and that's going to be number 99, Julianne Liskowskis.
Parker already with an early opportunity. Crimson Tide very quick to attack tonight. Trying to get an early goal after trailing for a good portion of the Mississippi State match and tied for a while before posting that 4-1 victory. As I mentioned, the Crimson Tide have had a tough go of it historically against Florida, and Florida has been historically one of the strongest programs in the Southeastern Conference, but last meeting was won by the Gators late in the 89th minute back in 2020. Lone Alabama win was here in Tuscaloosa back in 2012 before Coach Hart took over.
I was going to say, who didn't have a tough time playing against Florida? Just so dominant for so many years. They've certainly had some ups and downs as of late, but it's a program that without a doubt is going to come back into its former glory. I'm sure of it.
Already an early corner kick opportunity for Alabama. That allows Felicia Knox to shine. The nation's leader with 15 assists. She has been so good servicing corner kicks. Felicia Knox with the service. Headed back in and just out to the left. I believe Macy Clem.
Yep, Macy Clem was trying to keep that one alive. Couldn't quite get it across the face of goal, but good ball in from Felicia Knox into traffic. We've seen her score from that position, so I'm sure we'll see a lot of more great service from her tonight.
Alexa Goldberg, the Florida keeper, has had a busy season with all the shots she has faced and all the saves she's collected. Tied for second in the league with 54 saves, along with Molly Swift of LSU, just 2 behind Ashley Orcus entering today's game for the SEC lead. Crimson Tide will organize from the back. All the way to McKinley Crone, the reigning SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Outstanding goalkeeper for the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, she certainly played a huge role keeping the Crimson Tide in that game and getting the victory against Arkansas, and then again in Starkville against Mississippi State.
Gators able to connect on a few passes, starting with Cameron Hall. Sarepka with a takeaway. Gianna Paul tried to bump it out to Tanner, but the Gators right there. Read well by Maddie Perello. Lescalsis gets it out in front to Sid Kennedy. Kennedy, and that'll roll just to the right.
And that's not a bad look for Florida. I mean, they've been connecting some passes through the middle, finding some space, able to get that ball forward. Not the best shot coming off of the foot of Kennedy, but certainly Florida's got to feel some confidence, seeing them being able to connect those passes and then getting into that attacking third.
Gorka and Sarepka getting Alabama to halfway. We'll continue using the back with Brooke Steer. Made the transition to center back just days before the season began and has really held it down along with Sasha Pickard the entire year.
Yeah, Alabama's defense, I don't think they get enough credit. Maybe it's just assumed because they've just been so good all year long, but starting with goalkeeper Crone and that back four.
Side moving out to that left flank, trying to connect to Tanner. We've seen the goals Alabama scored this year. Always off to a good start, but then they know how to finish and defend in the second half.
Oh, absolutely. It's like, just when you think it couldn't get worse for the opponent, it does. Alabama just such stingy defense, just so tight front to back. And in my opinion, that back line, those back four players plus Crone, really give Alabama's offense the freedom to run and to really score goals and get creative.
Reyes at the top of the 18, now in Sarepka for the Tide. Trying to dance her way through some traffic. Felicia Knox dangerous in spots like this. Brooke Steer. Looks it too far in front.
Yeah, Florida's doing a nice job just sitting in the pocket, playing sort of the zonal defense. You could see that Leskowskis got released to go try to pressure Brooke Steer. Steer did a really nice job of taking one step around. Unfortunately, the service wasn't quite there because, again, Florida was defending well as a team, that back line getting up and staying compact front to back.
Overall, first 6 minutes, one shot for the Gators, none for Alabama.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of a chess match. Again, Alabama's played two teams very different from Florida in their last couple of games, Arkansas, Mississippi State. A lot more direct play here. And I think what Florida's trying to do is sort of sit back, allow Alabama to move the ball, just they want to absorb some of that pressure because they know it's coming. They're not going to beat Alabama in a foot race, and they don't want to engage in that, I don't think.
Gianna Paul against De Leon in a foot race. This will go to Goldberg. Gianna Paul, the freshman, has seen some more starting playing time with Kate Henderson still dealing with a hamstring issue. Hope to get her back soon. Westhart does.
Yeah, and Gianna Paul gives the Alabama Crimson Tide their offense just a different look. They're able to send those sort of long sweeping balls through. She's just so fast, graceful. She can get on the end of anything, really, it seems like. So not as quite as compact as when Henderson's on the field. So a really different look.
Corey Peace trying to move the Gators forward. There's the defense of Alabama and Brooke Steer.
I think we'll be saying her name a lot this evening, as we usually do.
Also, Reyna Reyes from the back. So used to her as a midfielder or a scoring threat, but this year moving to that back line has really helped Alabama's attack.
Oh, yeah. Reyna Reyes and Jessica Skorka playing those outside back positions just give such a dimension to Alabama's offense. Being able to overload when they're on the offense is just unbelievable. And, Reyna Reyes, she's been named to the Matt Kerman Trophy watch list. She's on that list. She's gotten 5 or 6 goals this season as a defender. I mean, people hope to get those in their careers in college. And, this is what she's doing this year and just has had a fantastic season.
Could very well become 3-time first-team All-SEC. She's won those honors the last 2 years. Putting together a tremendous season this year. Scoring a lot on set pieces, as you mentioned, as a defender. Let's see what Florida can do here. Kennedy on the left side. Cross to the center. Footed first, Macy Glenn. Gianna Paul again against De Leon. All the way to Goldberg.
And every time you see Gianna Paul storming the goalkeeper, you got to be thinking as the goalkeeper, oh no, there's a good chance that she's going to get in front of this because she's done that so many times this season. We've seen with goalkeepers just putting them under tremendous pressure. But Goldberg able to get out of that one easily.
Lenny Tozel just past Pierce, and there's Pickard.
And the wall that is Sasha Pickard. I mean, nothing is getting past her, period.
The beast on the back line, according to head coach Westhart. Valuable playing time last season, maybe some ups and downs at times, trying to anchor that Tide back line, but certainly got better as the season got along and part of the strong defense this year. Laskowskis trying to square up, tripped up by Clem, and the whistle.
Yeah, did a great job. Laskowskis has been dancing in that little spot, just sort of sweeping and playing that high forward position. Seems to be alone at times, but she's doing just fine, able to use some fancy footwork and draw that foul. And this is a good, dangerous position for Florida.
Got to take advantage of the set pieces, the Gator offense that has only put together 15 goals so far this season in 15 matches. Laskowskis along with Tozel. Laskowskis with the left foot, and McKinley Crone with the save.
Yeah, and for the SEC Defender of the Week, I mean, that was sort of a routine grab for Crone. She makes it look easy. You're going to have to do something pretty good, I think, to get past McKinley Crone, especially after the season she's been having. That, like I said, that back line, her and her four-back, they are just so tight.
Gators back line calming it down with De Leon. And there's Skorka again, giving Alabama another opportunity. Out to Paul. Ball back to the center. And a foot race, Riley Tanner. Can't get to it just in time. Out of play to the Florida bench.
Yeah, good pressure, though, by Alabama. Couldn't get on the end of that sweeping ball, but a great effort from Gianna Paul. You see Parker just taking that one touch and playing that ball, allowing Gianna to get on the end of it, and then she plays a big sweeping ball across the box, just couldn't connect with Tanner.
Only a freshman, Gianna Paul, 6 goals, 5 assists on the season. Has been a 2-time SEC Freshman of the Week, certainly in the running to be the SEC Freshman of the Year.
I mean, there's a lot of great players, but, you know, I just don't see it going to anybody else. Gianna Paul has had just a fantastic freshman campaign.
"19 shots on goal," and she's putting up these numbers with a lot of the season coming off the bench, limited minutes at times.
Yeah, and that's so impressive. I mean, she just is so dynamic and makes such a huge impact as soon as that cleat touches the field. It's just, she's on and she's locked in.
Raina Reyes battling right up against Maddie Perello. Quickly gets ahead on the Gator throw-in.
Oh, what a great job there by Parker. Finally gets hung up there with Laskowskis, but I mean, the way that Parker was able to track that ball back and use her body and win that and just physically outpower Florida was great.
Quickly in the attacking third, Alabama tried to center it for Parker. Gators gaining clearance to halfway line. Peace against Pickard, the tackle. And the play continues. That's the kind of physical play Alabama likes.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, if you watch that, if we get a replay of it, you'll see nothing malicious there. I mean, it looked worse than it was, I think, because bodies were tangled. But, I mean, that is what Sasha Pickard does. She will stop you in your tracks, and you're going to go over her.
Zarepka to Paul, right side. Back to the center. Knox was right in front of the goal before the Gators cleared away, but it will lead to a corner. Or at least close to the corner throw-in. Rolled in the box, Parker. She can turn around in a hurry. Fell to her feet, still keeps this possession going for Alabama. Sarepka sliding in for it along with De Leon. Solid work by De Leon. This will go to Goldberg.
Yeah, good battles all over the field. You see De Leon getting tangled up with Sarepka. I think that's what we're going to see all over the pitch, are these individual battles. And what's going to determine who's going to win is that fight, that focus, winning those small battles, you know, really understanding your role in the game and executing well. And so far, you know, Florida's done a pretty good job. They knew that they were going to have to play tight defense. Coach Bohan knew that they were going to have to defend against a really hot Alabama offense. And so I would say from a game plan perspective, it looks like they're executing that part now. Can they get forward? Can they hold it? Can they put some shots on goal?
More physical play. Foul on Gianna Paul. It comes across just shy of the box. See what the Gators can do here. Trying to connect with Peace. And the back line wins the battle for Alabama for a moment. Here comes Alabama. And a foul. Perello knocking down Riley Tanner.
Yeah, sophomore Perello just getting tangled up there with Riley Tanner. Not hard to do. Riley Tanner just does such a great job of being able to use her body and position her body in such a way that she is going to draw that foul time and time again. Such an asset.
Now Knox. And here come the Gators with Leskowskis. Rasmussen to Tudis. Kennedy left side. Pickard got it right in front of Peace. Florida led by first-year head coach Samantha Bohan and a lot of newcomers in her first season. 10 of the 26 players, freshmen, some transfers in as well.
Yeah, and even for the returners, Coach Bohan was letting us know that many of those players didn't really see significant time on the pitch. And so really they're freshman-esque in a way. So she's dealing with a lot of new players, ones that haven't really gotten a whole lot of experience prior. But this season, many of those players are seeing lots of big minutes due to injuries and just this rebuilding year. So something that's going to fare well for the Gators, certainly in the next couple of years to come.
Felicia Knox with some space. Backs it up to Reyes. Tanner against Young, getting more physical by the moment. Steer with good vision. Strides it out to Skorka. De Leon again.
Yeah, big play there by De Leon, but again, we're seeing these battles all over the pitch. Riley Tanner getting tangled up there. De Leon, a junior, sort of anchoring that back line, but she's surrounded by a couple of freshmen and sophomores who are being asked to do a lot on that back line. We've got Ashley Tudis, number 16, the freshman who's got a big ask in saying, can you mark this number 10 for Alabama? I wouldn't want that job.
Well, the way she's been scoring this season. 12 goals to lead Alabama. Also Ty Jada Thomas for the lead in goals with 12 on the year, and then she does have the SEC lead with 28 points. Gianna Paul showing off her speed. Sarepka with some space. Sarepka lets it fire, and Goldberg will calm it down in the final 6.
Yeah, and Sarepka, that's a player who's really sort of gotten hot the last couple of games. You know, a little bit quiet in the out-of-conference, the earlier games of the season, but has come through so big. You know, got the game-winner PK against Arkansas, put it up for Alabama 2-1. You know, played some major minutes and gotten some really timely goals. I think she's just one off in terms of game-winning goals, just behind Parker. So I'm looking to her tonight to make a big difference for the Tide.
Gianna Paul, despite some contact from behind, and then a little out of play past the Gators sideline. Here's Sarepka. Reyes going up against Perello.
Yeah, we hear lots of players on the field yelling for a handball there. You know, the handball, it's such a tricky call. I've seen it a million times, and, you know, sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm off. It really depends. Does the referee think that that arm is away from the body in an unnatural position? The referee on the field did not think so at the time.
Laskowskis. A mounted attack for Florida. The Gators currently out shooting the Crimson Tide 2-1. Only one shot on goal in the match, and that's been by Florida. Kennedy. Pierce tripped up.
Almost looked like Peace got on the heel of, maybe it was Sasha Pickard as they were both running across the top of the 18.
Back to the center. And the redirects will go high. So far, it has been physical between Florida and Alabama.
Yeah, it certainly has, but it didn't take long for us to see a couple of big, hard tackles on the field. You see Florida taking it away from Parker, and then Clem, Laskowskis. Big tackle by Sasha Pickard on Peace. Little trip-ups here and there. You know, we're about halfway through this first half, so I think there'll be plenty more physical play tonight.
Kat Rogers just came in for Macy Clem for Alabama. To Gianna Paul. Paul trying to gain some space. Rolls it back Sarepka. Just off Parker. Rogers quickly getting involved.
Yeah, Alabama does a nice job to win that ball back. Florida's got to do a better job of clearing it, but they've been unable to.
Tanner and Young just on the left side of the box.
Yeah, good tackle by Young. Make sure she got all ball there. Again, just a sophomore, so big ask from Coach Bohan. Playing lots and lots of minutes, and again, playing someone like Riley Tanner certainly keeps you on your toes.
Corner kick number 2 for Alabama. Once again, Felicia Knox with the service. Connected to the head of Macy Clem last time, did not result in a goal. Corner kick number 2. Stopped by the two hands of Goldberg.
And Goldberg is not a large keeper by any means in terms of stature, but she plays really big. That was a great save in traffic, able to get her hands on that ball and pull it down. She has been one of the reasons Florida has been able to keep those games, those 1-point losses, you know, ties here and there throughout the season. She just has been playing such a huge role for the Gators.
More contact. Tozzel getting tangled up with Tanner.
And that's one too many tangles with Tanner, so we're going to see a card. Not necessarily for the intent or the maliciousness of that particular tackle, more of the cumulative. The referee wants to keep control of this game and make sure it doesn't get any more chippy than it already is.
Yellow card on Delaney Tozzel. Set piece opportunity for the Crimson Tide. Fouls are even at 4. Felicia Knox keeps it on the ground. Right to Skorka. Paul had pressure on her the entire time. Knox turns it around. Sarepka left side battling with 2 Gators.
That was a great.
Still in Alabama's attacking third. Raina Reyes. Gets to act like a midfielder again in spots like this.
Yeah, it's a fun time for her. Oh, and that's what, she's so dynamic. She can get up there and provide that midfield sort of attack mentality.
Knox sends it high to Parker, keeps it in play. What will Skorka do? Knox. Right up against Leskauskas as well as Tozzel. Fights keep it in play.
Unlucky there by Brooke Steer, but good hustle. Yeah, you can see Brooke Steer just coming in, trying to shield the ball. Gets tangled up a little bit. It started back there with, I believe it was Cameron Hall, number 24 for Florida Gators, doing an acrobatic sort of save as that ball was coming in. Alabama worked it around with some patience, and Florida ended up being able to defend that ball pretty well and keep it out of their end.
Gators for now 25 minutes, limiting Alabama to 1 shot, no shots on goal.
Yeah, they've been very patient. Definitely are executing their defensive game plan.
Now Florida trying to connect and get back in its attacking third. Throw in Alabama. Mariana Ennis getting ready for the throw-in. Transfer from Northwestern, scored in the first match of the year against Florida Atlantic, their Alabama debut. Kat Rogers puts it through! Senior night, Kat Rogers gets it done, and Alabama's got a 1-goal lead against the Gators.
Hey, you know what? Kat Rogers does not have a goal on the year. She's got a couple of assists, but guess what? She's going to get that goal when it absolutely counts. One of the captains on this team couldn't think of a better person to put them in front.
Her 3rd career goal, had one back in 2020-21 against South Alabama, also against Lamar in 2019, and now in 2022, she finds the back of the net.
And it comes from her co-captain, Parker, someone also getting honored here on senior night, and I mean, what a fantastic hit. She has been trying from that position all year long. She's been rejected by a crossbar. Goalies have made some fantastic saves, but not tonight. Kat Rogers will not be denied.
Her 9th shot on goal, and it pays off.
Beautiful.
Close calls before that, as you mentioned, but now she's put Alabama in front.
And, talking with Coach Hart, he had mentioned that Kat Rogers has had some really big games against Mississippi State, Arkansas, and now keep that performance going. Here she comes up even bigger for the Tide, getting that goal that they so desperately needed. I think what we'll see is almost a weight being lifted off of Alabama's shoulders, because I don't know if they expected Florida to defend so well and give them so much sort of difficulty on the offensive front, but I think you'll see a much more sort of freer play from Alabama here, connecting more passes, taking more chances.
A lot of Alabama's goals have come in bunches. We saw that last Thursday against Mississippi State. Felicia Knox just out to the right. Everybody thought that one had eyes for the back.
And why not? We've seen Felicia Knox score from there, just about anywhere on the pitch. And I don't think she's gone, one game this year without having at least a goal or an assist.
Well, she's ready to go with a corner kick for the Crimson Tide. Trying to build on this 1-goal lead. Felicia Knox. Headed first by Steer, then quickly out of play.
It looks like Alabama's going to get another.
Just had a Gator touch at the end, yeah.
Yep. Seemed like there was a lot of traffic at that front post, and from our vantage point, looked like an Alabama player touched it last, but Felicia Knox will do it again.
This time rolls it into Tanner. Different look, and the Gators play it well. Leskowskis gets Florida moving. Rolled back to McKinley Crone. Now, it is interesting for McKinley Crone and Kat Rogers. Both of them went through senior night last year, so they are not being honored coming up after this match is over, and all of Alabama's seniors will be honored at the conclusion of this match. But still, last regular season matches for them here at home in Tuscaloosa. How storybook is it for Kat Rogers to score for Alabama?
That's amazing. She's got to feel so good right now, but probably even better. I mean, not knowing Kat Rogers, other than through the screen, she just seems like she is all about her team, and she wants to put the team above herself. And so, yes, great victory for her in terms of getting that goal that she's been hunting for all season, but even better for her team.
Riley Tanner will head to the bench, and Aislinn Stryzik will come in. Stryzik's had a goal and 3 points this season. Talented sophomore, and it's group that's really talented in terms of some of the underclassmen on this Crimson Tide roster. Yes, it's a very strong senior class that's led Alabama to the #1 ranking, and with the win tonight, the SEC championship, but the youngsters have been playing as well.
Yeah, just like Coach Bohan was talking about some of her younger classmen getting a lot of needed experience, having big responsibilities. Aislinn Stryzik was one of those younger players last year that got a lot of time on the pitch and really benefited from that.
Trying to get out in front to Leskowskis, on frame, but there's Crone, McKinley Crone.
McKinley Crone showing why she's Defensive Player of the Week. Big save. She made it look easy and routine, but that was a pretty cheeky pass and some great movement by Leskowski across the face of goal.
Crimson Tide could not connect, so the Gators will get it back on the throw-in. Here's Stryzik.
Unable to pull that ball sort of across the face of goal, but Stryzik, just like Tanner on that side, able to really dance, take players on 1v1, likes that isolation. Just has to sort of hook that ball around and get it across the face of goal. But a good look for her first touch on the field.
Young's throw in immediately met by Kat Rogers. Quick foul on the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, I think the arm stretched out there by Kat Rogers as she was approaching the Florida Gator player.
Gators getting the attacking third. Trying to beat this Alabama defense. That's on display from Anest.
Yeah, Anest does well and then gets that ball up to Stryzik because Erica Roberts, number 6 for Florida, was showing her speed and her tenacity up front.
Speaking of speed, Gianna Paul against 2 Gator defenders, tried to cross it just back to the center, met well by Florida. However, missed opportunity there for the Gators, and now a corner kick.
Yeah, unfortunate bounce there by De Leon. Seemed like it just got rolled under her foot and bounced out. Gianna Paul staying on the end of that, making something out of nothing. But Alabama seems a little bit disconnected. There's a lot of space between those white jerseys. They've got to stay a little bit more compact or get their service that extra oomph just sort of over the line to connect with their players in the box.
5th corner kick, first time service by Rogers. Came first to Sydney Vincent's in the box, who also just came in for the Crimson Tide for Gianna Paul. Great opportunity there.
Yeah, 2 balls in by Kat Rogers. One was perfect. It was right in the middle of 3 shirts, the one that you're talking about, I think Sydney Vincent's and Brooke Steer. And then the ball was recycled and played back. And another great ball by Kat Rogers, but Tide unable to capitalize.
Another corner, this time Felicia Knox. Puts it up. Flicks back on the bicycle kick by Reyes just over the bar. That another close call there for Alabama.
A super close call, and I can't tell if it was Goldberg who got a hand out there and sort of punched it or pushed that ball away just in traffic, or if it was one of her defenders there giving her some help. But either way, well defended by Florida, able to keep that ball out and just withstand that flurry of white jerseys.
Sigh of relief for Goldberg. Gators moving ahead with Barton, who just came in. Tessa Barton, the transfer from Colorado. He's had a productive year with 2 goals on the season. Riley Parker's had a productive year.
She certainly has. And Coach Hart wants her to have some more production tonight.
Knox in the center.
That's great pressure from Corey Peace. She had her eye on Brooke Steer and that pass back from Felicia Knox and nearly was able to intercept that.
Vincent.
Yeah, putting in the work. Whenever Vincent gets on the field, she plays her minutes hard. She gives a lot of effort off that bench, and you're seeing it now. Lots of pressure on that back line for Florida.
She's one of the seniors being honored tonight after not coming to play last year due to injury. Skorka battling against Tudis. Crone gets involved in organizing the back. Pass Vincennes. She's still working for it.
Yeah, battling for it there, but Kennedy, number 32 for Florida, seemed like she had a bit more of the possession there. Vincent tried to continue to play that ball. It's a good battle, and Kennedy's already turned and moving with the ball, and Vincent just sticks one of those long 6-foot legs in there and tries to break it up.
Ennis with some power to Parker. Gators read that well with Kennedy. Reyna Reyes. Out to Stryzik, left side. Tessa Barton, also automatically Parker coming out for a moment, as we only have 6:10 to go before halftime. So Barton came in for Leskowskis. Foul on Ennis. Kick for the Gators. And Parker has stayed in for the Crimson Tide. Getting tripped up was Vincent. Play does continue.
So ball on the ground for Alabama. I guess it's going to be a foul against Florida.
Skorka and Reyes going to work. Getting closer to that corner. Tudas on defense. Ball stays in. Skorka tripped up. No foul.
I'm surprised with that one. So here we can see the battle between the two. And Tudas is all over, kind of pulling that jersey. Seemed like the center referee did give that free kick, even though the lines referee did not. So we're gonna see Kat Rogers swing it in.
Just over the top of Steer. That foul, according to the official stats, was on Sid Kennedy. Must have been something away from the ball.
Yeah, it must have been.
Final 4 minutes. What's been an entertaining first half. Alabama was able to score thanks to Kat Rogers, senior, finding pay dirt, playing a final regular season match in Tuscaloosa. But with the way Alabama's played, certainly at #1 in the nation, you would think a #1 seed on the way for Alabama, and that means some time in the NCAA tournament at home. So far, some very direct soccer. Only 5 shots for the Gators, 4 for Alabama. And both sides at times have had a tough time connecting on many passes. And the physical play has been there all 45 minutes.
It certainly has, and it hasn't been very consistent in terms of what's being awarded as a foul versus not.
Ennis to Stryzik near the corner, out of play.
Yeah, and it just seems like Alabama's passes are just a smidge off the mark. seems like they could switch the ball a little bit faster and find themselves an outlet a little bit more quickly because they're having great width on both sides. It just seems like it's a step too slow, and they're allowing Florida to execute their game plan and really shift and play that zonal defense. If Alabama can just clean those things up and move that ball a little faster, I think they're going to really be able to open this game up.
Stryzik left side. Working along with Annis, trying to get it back to the box. There it is for Reyes. Despite contact from De Leon. Knox in the center with Rogers, Reyes. Final minute of this first 45.
Well defended again by Florida, doing what they can just to keep that ball out in these final minutes.
Rogers battling in. Off her line, Goldberg. Here's a shot, and that's just wide.
Oh, that's a hold your breath moment on both sides.
Vincennes had a great opportunity.
And it almost looked like Felicia Knox was going to be able to get that ball out of the hands of Goldberg, or excuse me, Allie Burke was there causing all sorts of interference, and the net was open for Vincennes, and she just can't believe it. Unlucky, but that was a good build-up for Alabama, a very dangerous opportunity.
Goldberg letting the seconds tick down as Florida has played Alabama tough. The Gators are no strangers to one-goal matches, and at halftime, it is a one-goal match in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, all the credit to Florida. They have really played their game and really executed well, and Alabama, I think, has got to tighten up in a couple of areas.
Shots even at 5 in the first half between the Crimson Tide and the Florida Gators. And again, a one-goal lead for Alabama at halftime. Roger and Haley from the press box now joined on the field by Alabama head coach Wes Hart. And Coach, what did you see that you liked from your group in the first 45 minutes?
The goal. I like Kat's goal.
Samantha Bohan is the first-year head coach of the Florida Gators. And, Coach, what did you like about your team's attack in the first 45 minutes?
Yeah, I mean, I thought we were really well organized defensively, a little bit harder to break down, and just really patient. And so that when the opportunities came where we could win the ball and try and counter, I think we did a good job of that. Created 2 good chances in the first half. We just got to be a little bit better in the final third.
Thank you, Coach. Best of luck in the
All
second
right,
half.
thanks, go Gators.
That is Samantha Bohan again in her first season as the head coach of the Florida Gators. And we've touched on it a little bit, but she has really enjoyed this group. Despite some of the results not going the way they want to, especially in conference play, their approach, game in and game out, training session in after training session out, has been right where she wants it to be.
Yeah, you know, she talked about the sort of 10 principles they came up with, and 3 that she entered with were joy, connection, and sort of this blue collar, this grit. And certainly that group has done a lot of that. They may not have had the most joy this season in terms of their record, but they're showing up, they're playing hard, they're getting better, and she can't wait to see them in the spring season.
They've played Alabama, a team that has really dominated the SEC so far this season. Very tough in the first half.
Absolutely, and you know, like Coach Bohan said, they've really executed their game plan very well. They've made Alabama play a little bit on their heels, a little bit uncomfortable. Alabama hasn't quite been able to figure out that zone defense. They're not used to play teams sitting back and having to be really patient and work it around. And so all the credit to the Gators. It's a tight matchup because they've executed so well.
Here come the Crimson Tide. Kat Rogers back to the center. Just past the head of Tanner. Gators fighting for clearance, but Skorka fighting for the Tide, and it goes just to the left.
That was a great effort by Skorka. Saw Riley Tanner have some major air time. I thought that was going to be a connection, just missing the target there, and then unable to finish. But Alabama showing some good energy coming out of the gates.
Alexa Goldberg, the keeper for the Gators. More physical play, theme carried over from the first half. One-goal lead for Alabama as Cat Rogers scoring for the Crimson Tide in the 27th minute. Riley Tanner. Interrupted by Florida's Tozzle. Two sides really in a fight for possession in these first 5 minutes of the second half.
Yeah, and you can see that fight is in the center of the pitch. We've seen some hard tackles there. Both teams fighting like there is no tomorrow. They want to get possession of that ball and they want to keep it.
Gators trying to get an opportunity for Corey Peace. Skorka tangled up with Tozzle. Barton inching into the box, but there's defense from Brooke Steer.
Yeah, and that was a huge tackle by Brooke Steer. You know, Jessica Skorka got tangled up a little bit, and Barton coming off the bench, we know she can be dangerous for Florida, the transfer coming in from Colorado, but Brooke Steer was there to put an end to that run.
Opportunity for a Tide run with Riley Tanner. Nifty moves to the center. Tanner, long range, got it! Riley Tanner on senior night makes it 2-0 Crimson Tide.
The individual effort from Riley Tanner on that ball was absolutely magnificent. The Tide needed a difference maker. They needed somebody to pump this squad up, and Riley Tanner came through in the biggest way. She basically gets that ball from half, dances around, cuts, set herself up, took one look up, saw where Goldberg was, and said, all right, I'm gonna go bottom corner. What a great finish.
Fourth goal this season for Riley Tanner. Started her career at South Carolina, in the last 2 years an impact player for Alabama. A 2-goal Crimson Tide advantage.
Yeah, to set yourself up like that, that is actually a really difficult thing to do because the body and the ball are going one way, and then she absolutely cut across her body to the opposite side of the net. Goldberg was stuck. Tough to get there because she's tracking that ball as well. Excellent, excellent vision to see where Goldberg was and to place that ball so nicely.
Here comes Alabama. Riley Parker battling against De Leon. Center back for the Gators has been busy. Her Coach Bohan, she empties the tank each and every match.
Yeah, one of the big leaders here for the Gators, both on and off the field.
Skorka keeps it in play for Alabama. Rogers, long distance off the top. We were hoping to see a brace for Cat Rogers.
Not more than Cat Rogers. She's so dangerous from that distance, and she's smiling because that crossbar has gotten her time after time. But that's exactly what Alabama needs to do. They need to just find those slots and be able to put balls on and put them on frame and be dangerous. It doesn't have to connect, 6 or 7 passes before you go to goal. Sometimes playing a little bit more purposeful, going forward, being a bit more direct is not a bad thing.
Guess who? Riley Tanner. Through a lot of traffic. Bumping it out in front, Sarepka. And that'll go out of play off of Florida, so a throw in close to the corner for Alabama. Good chance to get organized. Felicia Knox. So Repka with her left foot. And that's right to Goldberg with the stop.
Yeah, routine play there for Goldberg. She was waiting, anticipating, watching that ball.
Have a night, Cat Rogers.
Yeah, and this is more of what we expected to see from the Tide, that hunting, that tenacious pressure, that ownership of the ball.
Felicia Knox to the center. Tanner's there, along with some solid defense from Florida. Clearing it out of the box at least. Now trying to get a run started. Trying to create an opportunity for this Florida team down by 2 goals. A 2-0 lead for Alabama, playing in the 53rd minute against Florida. Roll to the back. McKinley Crone off her line. Had Peace coming in hard.
Yeah, and Peace's got a set of wheels on her, so maybe a little bit too close for comfort if you're Alabama, but the right ball back from Knox, but Alabama has to be watching because Corey Peace is just circling, and she is hunting.
Maddie Perello has come in for Florida to replace Erica Roberts. Crimson Tide now out shooting Florida 9-5, and that means 4-0 in the second half.
Yeah, Alabama came out with a different attitude in the second half, a different energy level than what we saw in that first half.
Gators keeping it away from Parker.
The Gators moving the ball nice and quickly, finding those outlet passes.
Some good spacing here, an opportunity for Rasmussen. Out to Tozel. Rasmussen again in the center, on frame. McKinley Crone with the save.
Yeah, big save by Crone. The ball looks like it was hit with some pace, sort of bobbled in Crone's hand. But that was a great job by Florida to work that ball to the back, find that outlet quickly. They went inside and then back outside to Rasmussen, and she put a nice look on frame, forcing Crone to make that play and give up the corner.
First corner kick of the match for Florida, trailing by 2 goals against Alabama in the 55th minute. A line drive headed first by Pickard. And this one out of play. Off of Barton.
Yeah, unlucky look there by Barton, but I'm still mesmerized by that head ball by Sasha Pickard. She hit that with some authority. She did, that was a statement. Get out of this box. Really well defended.
Just joining us, the Crimson Tide picked up a 1-0 lead in the 27th minute thanks to a long-range goal by Cat Rogers. And then to begin the second period in the 49th minute, Riley Tanner made it 2-0 Alabama. A win for the Crimson Tide delivers the program its first ever SEC Soccer Championship. Tide a perfect 8-0 in the SEC. They have won 11 straight. Here at home, it's been a winning streak of 15 games in a row.
That's pretty remarkable.
Here's Riley Parker. She's been remarkable all year. And that one-handed stop by Goldberg. Wow.
Yeah, that was the right ball. That was the right place to hit it. Goldberg did a really nice job of coming out and cutting those angles. Had to do a superwoman job to punch that ball with enough pace to get behind it and really get that out of play, because we know Parker is hitting that ball pretty hard.
Corner kick, Alabama, the 7th of the match. This will be Kat Rogers with the service. High arching, punch first Goldberg. Cleared away thanks to Rasmussen.
Goldberg is just so brave in the box as a keeper. She has just done such a fantastic job keeping Florida in these matches. It's almost like she has no thought about what happens to her. She's in traffic, punching that ball, being aggressive off her line. Took a nasty cut up around the eyebrow against Arkansas, and I bet you she would have gone back in if she was allowed to. So just an absolute fighter.
Native of St. Petersburg, Florida, she participated in circus arts until she decided to focus on soccer.
That's pretty amazing.
So no wonder she's comfortable being uncomfortable at times, able to
Yeah.
make some high-flying plays.
Very courageous, and I see now why.
'57th minute, Alabama with a 2-0 lead against Florida.
It's good defending there by number 21. Madison Young, sophomore, has been really putting in a lot of minutes this season for the Gators.
Maddie Perello had a few options. Rasmussen. She hasn't been afraid to take a long strike. Now Perello out to the left, and McKinley Crone read that well.
Read it well, and you know, she did not want to take a chance on that one. I think it might have been going a little bit wide, but it could have been bending in a little bit, but Crone was not going to take a chance on that one. Not with so much on the line tonight.
Gators starting to get more shots in these last 5 minutes or so, now up to 3 already in the second half. And a corner kick coming up for Florida. Service will be by Delaney Tozzel. Tozzel. Pressure in the box, headed away. Looks like Parker De Leon are right there around the ball, and this will go back to Alabama and McKinley Crone.
Yeah, set pieces were something that, you know, talking with Coach Bohan, she mentioned the team wanted to focus on, be present, try to capitalize on them. They've had some success in their more recent games, getting some good looks and some goals off set pieces. Trying to do it here against Alabama, unable to finish that one off, but good service and good representation in the box.
Just saw Gianna Paul re-enter this match. She takes the spot of Felicia Knox, nation's leader in assists. Could be the SEC Midfielder of the Year, placed by possibly the SEC Freshman of the Year in Gianna Paul, the tremendous campaign she's put together. A 2-0 lead for Alabama, 60th minute of play.
I think now that Alabama has seen some success in terms of stretching out that Florida defense and putting some of those balls in behind, like we just saw for Parker not long ago, and we saw Riley Tanner able to dribble into the box and find some space. I think that's where Gianna Paul thrives and shines, and Coach Hart says, why not try to get a couple more tonight?
Tanner knocked down, play continues. Raina Reyes. Zarepka left side. Paul trying to keep possession any way she can against Kennedy. Finally rolls it to Goldberg.
Yeah, Kennedy did a nice job there. Florida in general, whoever's out on that flank has been giving Gianna Paul some difficulty. She hasn't really been able to make all those long dashing runs with the freedom that she's been able to find with other teams. So again, credit to Florida being patient, being disciplined.
61st minute, Alabama with a 2-0 lead against Florida. Parker from Paul. Now out in front, Serepka with Paul right there. Ashlyn Serepka, left foot, just out of play.
And that was a cheeky little shot, and that was the right shot. If she could have just connected with that net, the poise that Serepka had just to take that touch, lift with her head, and look, she knew Goldberg was going to be cheating coming off of her line, unable to get it into the back of the net, but instead of going to Paul, she continues her run inside and goes with that left foot.
6 goals in the season for Serepka. 4 have been in SEC play. She is playing some of her best soccer right now. Another senior that'll be honored after the match tonight. We've already seen goals by 2 seniors tonight. Kat Rogers, who went through senior day a year ago, is back for her super senior season, her 6th year. And then Riley Tanner earlier in this half. Making it 2-0 Alabama, and that's still the score we have now. 28 minutes to go. Foul was on Macy Klim for the Crimson Tide, so another set-piece opportunity for Florida. Gators deep into the box, headed first by Reyes. Martin was the intended target.
Yeah, and you know, Cameron Hall was telling her teammates to get up high. She's got the legs, she's got the ability to get that ball deep in the box. Unfortunately, just not enough Florida players there to really handle that ball and get it on the ground.
Tricky for Goldberg with Paul there. Makes the play though. Kick just shy of the circle.
I think Goldberg knew she had to go high on that one because Gianna Paul's tall frame was looming.
Allie Berg coming in for the Crimson Tide, getting honored on Senior Day tonight. Native of Atlanta, Georgia. 3 goals in her career all a season ago for the Crimson Tide. Here's Serepka. Dispossessed. Excellent work, Rasmussen.
Yeah, Rasmussen's been a difference maker this second half.
Losing a shoe, the Gators continue with Perello. And Peace, backline trying to do some work for the Tide, but this one's out of play. Florida, a great opportunity right there with Barton.
Wow, Barton just came flying out of nowhere. That was a dangerous play, and it all started with Maddie Perello. Losing a shoe, doesn't matter, gotta go for goal. That was a great combination play with Rasmussen early on, and then Perello able to get that ball in the box, and then, my goodness, Tessa Barton just coming out of nowhere, it seemed like.
Completely laying out. Left shoe back on for Maddie Perello. That ever happened to you?
If it did, I probably stopped. I didn't continue to play.
Didn't set up your teammates with a great opportunity? Come on.
No, I probably didn't. But all the credit to Perello. That was fantastic, just to stay focused and composed.
Tozzel trying to take control here. Physical play against Klim. Those are kind of 2 similar players. What Tozzel does for the Gators, similar to what Klim does for Alabama.
Yeah, sits in the pocket there and wins a lot of really important balls, distributes.
Paul De Leon, the tough tackle.
Tough tackle, but a clean tackle. You know, Paul tried to push that ball forward and keep going, but De Leon was watching. I think Paul is wanting the push that happened with number 16, Ashley Tudis out there. De Leon made the play on the ball, good hard tackle. but one would argue that Paul didn't really have the advantage when she got pushed out of bounds earlier from Tudis.
Alexa Goldberg to halfway. And a foul. Against the Crimson Tide and Jessica Skorka, it looks like.
Almost looks like they got that one mixed up, the referee's call on the field. Yeah, so Corey Peace came in and got underneath Skorka, and at first I think the referee made the incorrect call on the field, but quickly corrected.
That's why Alabama can set up this opportunity with Allie Burke. Riley Tanner.
You can see Florida's defense still staying home, sort of playing a zonal defense, but creeping up and applying a little bit more pressure rather than just sitting back.
Kat Rogers wins that for Alabama. Tide starting to connect. Riley Tanner, left foot. This one's high.
Yeah, not on the frame there. She'll want that one back, but that was a great series of passes between Tanner, Kat Rogers, Gianna Paul. And again, when Florida's defense and sort of that zonal setup that they have, when they get stretched a little bit, that's going to open up all sorts of space right in front of that 18, and that's exactly where Alabama wants to start striking from and at least combining in front of that net.
Tide certainly applying pressure, 7 shots in the second half. That still has 23 minutes to go compared to only 5 shots for Alabama in the first half. Raina Reyes with a head of steam. Reyes tripped up just shy of the box.
Yeah, that's the right call. Great run from Raina Reyes. Like you said, head full of steam. She wanted to go to goal. She got stopped a little short, but Alabama will take it. Great effort from Raina Reyes.
Felicia Knox getting ready for this kick. 5 goals on the season and 15 assists. The nation's leader in assists. No one else with more than 11. Against a wall of defenders. Felicia Knox. After the first contact. Skorka into the box, taken away by Tausel. Skorka keeps it alive.
Unbelievable work from Jessica Skorka.
Tanner with space on the left side. Trying to cross it back. Burke coming back again. Now Pickard helps get Alabama organized. And Macy Clem.
Maddie Perello is a one-ball wrecking machine. I mean, she has gotten on the end of so many of those balls that have been meant to be played into space from Tanner. She has blocked probably 3 of the last 4. That's a selfless act to take that many shots to the ribs for your team.
Gators will go back to their bench, bringing in Olivia Gonzalez for the first time. She scored a game-winning goal against Alabama in the last meeting back in 2020. That was down in Gainesville. That happened with just 2 minutes left in the match to give Florida the win.
Well, you know, and they bring her in, they're putting her up top. She's got a head full of steam, lots of speed, wants to go to goal. Corey Peace has played a ton of minutes, so fresh legs.
How about some of that from Ashlyn Sarepka?
Yeah, Ashlyn Sarepka is putting in some major minutes, coming through in some really clutch times for her team.
She's transferred to Alabama after a great career at Virginia. She now is playing in her 103rd game. That leads the nation among active players in games played.
I think about that and my body just hurts, but she just looks great, and she's getting stronger as the season is going on. So
Aislinn Stryzik has just come in for Riley Tanner, who scored Alabama's second goal back in the 49th minute. 2-goal lead for Alabama, now less than 20 minutes away from a victory over Florida, yes, but also clinching the SEC regular season championship, which would be a first in school history. Alabama was able to clinch on Thursday the SEC Western Division title, the first one since 1998. Burke is trying to get that ready at the top of the 18. It's an Alabama group that has not lost since early in the season against Miami. The only blemish on the record so far, also had a draw at Utah. 11 wins in a row for the Crimson Tide, already a program record. It's just been amazing to watch the confidence grow match to match, even with great competition as the year has gone along. It's just made this Alabama team play better.
absolutely. I mean, talk about character and charisma and chemistry. Alabama, this team really has it all.
Whistle that Tide fans don't like.
They certainly don't. I think that was a pretty soft foul to call, given some of the physical play this game. But Alabama just has to, remain focused on the task at hand, and that's being the driver of their own destiny and clinching this game and winning well and celebrating after.
A lot of players on this roster that have been there for the journey this program has been on. You even go back to that game I mentioned in 2020 against Florida, losing with less than 2 minutes to go in Gainesville. Also that fall had the heartbreaker against Mississippi State, as State scored in the final seconds of that matchup, and they've learned so many lessons about how to close out games since then.
It only seems fitting that it would be the same group of players that has gone on this journey, and not many teams get to close out their careers this way, and not many teams get to participate in a season like this, period. So
Riley Parker, a huge part of that group, originally committed to the Crimson Tide back in 2015 when she was only 15 years old. She already saw the vision that Wes Hart had laid out about what could happen here in Alabama. She wanted to be a part of it.
I had a chance to talk with her mom at the past alumni weekend, and she said that all she wanted to do was come and play soccer. Coach Hart asked her, what do you want to study? She said, I'm here to play soccer, and I'm happy she did.
So her ACL February 2021, right before the spring schedule that year, after she played very well in the fall of 2020. She got married in January of 2022, and then she scored a goal in her first official game back, and she has not looked back after that. She has been a scoring machine, 11 goals since then for her to now have 12 on the year, tied for the SEC lead, and she's the leader in the conference in points.
I don't know what else she could do.
She also got to speak at the homecoming pep rally on Friday night here in Tuscaloosa, which is a pretty rare honor.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
It's been homecoming weekend here at Alabama, and that included recognition for the Alabama soccer team last night during Alabama's football game against Mississippi State in front of a sold-out crowd of over 100,000 fans. They're recognized for already winning the SEC West, and everybody in the stadium knew what was on the line for the Crimson Tide with a win tonight, meaning it would mean the program's first SEC championship, and it was one of the loudest moments of the night when they were recognized at Bryant-Denny.
Well deserved. Well deserved.
Florida was able to connect a few good passes there as the Gators look for their first goal of the match. that from Reina Reyes.
She's so fast and just so strong and confident on the ball. I just can't say enough about what she brings to this team in terms of, leadership.
Burke on the right side, getting close to that corner. .14 minutes to go. Goldberg with the kick. And a foul called, I believe, against the Crimson Tide.
Yeah, it looked like it was Allie Burke, number 25, battling with, I think, 32, Kennedy.
Three goals this season to go for Burke, including some really critical ones against Auburn late in the season, helping Alabama get a victory in that matchup, which helped propel the Crimson Tide to the NCAA tournament, where they played against Clemson, scored there as well.
Yeah, she became a huge piece of the offense with the absence of Parker. She really stepped up for the Tide and was able to do a lot of good work on that front line.
Part of Alabama's first win ever in the NCAA tournament, and this group, no matter what happens from here, will be the first Alabama group of players to play in back-to-back NCAA tournaments, back-to-back seasons.
That's a great honor as well.
So last year was the start of this building process for the Crimson Tide. As Coach Hart has said many times, this has not been an overnight success. His team had some very close calls early in the year, finished really strong with those home victories against Auburn and LSU, and won against Clemson before playing well against BYU, ultimately falling in the second round of the NCAA tournament, but no comparison in terms of the numbers. Alabama finding the back of the net much more this season, playing better defense as well.
Yeah, the Tide have been, sort of building this brand of soccer for a long, long time. And it just seems like all the pieces are there and they're clicking this year. And you knew when it was going to drop really hard. And the Tide are just really just dominating and executing in all those areas.
Reina Reyes, a big part of the success. Same for Parker. Stryzik left side. Just off Burke, Skorka. Good touch by the Gators, by Sid Kennedy.
Yeah, that was a great ball in but from Stryzik. I talked about her before on that left-hand side. Just she can dance and get around a player and just has such a quick release on the ball. That ball is moving across the face of goal before you even know it's left her foot. Right over the top, hits Burke on the foot. Skorka unable to get on top of that one and get a good shot off. So Florida is able to withstand another Alabama attack. But Alabama looking pretty good. Just got to keep working those seams.
Stryzik battling hard against Young. Crimson Tide, nearly a chance there for Rogers.
Yeah, that was some beautiful combination play. Aislinn Stryzik on that flank, being patient, working and dancing, then finding some of her teammates inside. Kat Rogers doing a great job of being able to just quickly touch that ball off.
De Leon got tangled up with Vincennes. Here's Felicia Knox. Knocked down by Goldberg off her line. Another chance, another save by Goldberg.
Oh, just unlucky for Alabama, but Goldberg did a great job. Pure reaction. You could just see her putting those hands up and just hoping that that ball was able to stop. Great shot stopper there. Felicia Knox just so unlucky, but hit with so much pace. Parker tried to set her up again, but just unable to get that leg back and get some pace behind it on that second attempt.
Four shots by Felicia Knox tonight, 2 on frame.
You know, Felicia Knox is one of those players that barely leaves the pitch. You've got to wonder how that body's feeling sort of late in the season. She's taken a couple of hard knocks those last 2 games, Mississippi State and Arkansas. Still playing great soccer, still moving a ton off the ball, but a couple of days off probably wouldn't hurt.
Alabama still has Auburn coming up on Thursday night. The Tigers 6-5-5, 2-5-1 in the SEC, played against LSU earlier today. And then it's on to Pensacola for the SEC tournament. Stryzik tripped up in the box. Here's Knox, and that's high. Coverage coming up on the SEC ESPN network for all 9 matches coming up from October 30th through Sunday, November 6th in Pensacola. Alexa Goldberg, 2 goals allowed tonight, but 4 saves. She's had to deal with 16 shots, 6 on goal from Alabama.
She has faced a lot of shots this season and has done just a phenomenal job to hold her own back there.
Cameron Hall holding her own on defense against Raina Reyes. Crone redirects.
Yeah, plays that ball really well, sort of off the half volley. She had 2 players from Florida, Barton and Gonzalez, just coming at her full steam, looking cool, calm, and collected back there. You know, as Coach Bohan mentioned, there's been a lot of bright spots for Florida throughout the season. They still got, you know, tonight's game to finish off and then another one. And so it's got to be so encouraging as a coach to see this fight, to see this competitiveness from your athletes, to see them willing to buy in and give it a try. So, you know, she doesn't want the season to be over, but she can't wait to start training with them.
Riley Parker back to work. Out to Stryzik. Stryzik to the center. Good deflection by the Gators. Another one from Rogers, and this one will sail out of play.
Yeah, great little couple of one-touch passes there. Rogers all smiles.
It's just been her night.
It really has. It really has.
Got Alabama on the board in the 27th minute, and a real weight was lifted, it felt like, from the Crimson Tide after that goal went in.
Absolutely. She's had a huge footprint in this game tonight, really being a difference maker with not only that goal, but a lot of her, you know, sort of touches and play in those tight spaces. She's been able to generate a lot of opportunities for Alabama.
Ashlyn Sarepka's come back on the pitch to replace Aislinn Stryzik as Coach Hart's trying to play as many seniors as possible on senior night. Recognition is coming up after this match is over in 5.5 minutes, and also a chance to celebrate an SEC championship if Alabama can maintain this 2-goal lead. De Leon keeps it away from Parker.
Florida's had some very good individual moments from their defensive backs and through the midfield. really keeping what is normally extremely dangerous Alabama offense limited in terms of their shots and goal production tonight.
Sarepka through a lot of traffic. Lost her footing just at the top of the 18. Riley Tanner scored Alabama's second goal. Off the head of Parker. Goldberg will pick it up.
That was great service and a well-hit ball. You want to find Parker just a little bit closer to that 6-yard box, and that's where she's so dangerous. You know, her first 4 goals of the season were all with her header, and it was just, you know, funny to talk with her. She said she almost forgot how to score with her feet. But great to see her taking that head ball, but got to get her a little bit closer to the net so she can finish those ones off.
Gators only 4 shots in the second half. Not been able to connect very much. Alabama's defense has been better as this match has gone along.
Absolutely. Alabama's defense is always really tight. And, you know, the focus for Florida was really to sit back, be patient, try to absorb some of Alabama's offense. So when they have made that run upwards, they really haven't had the numbers to really take on a back line like Alabama's. They're a pretty special group.
Tyne offense back to work with 3 minutes to go. Skorka, a scorcher into the box.
Yeah, that would have been really dangerous because guess who was lurking around that 6-yard box?
Riley Parker.
Exactly. So well defended.
Rasmussen called for the foul, knocking down Sarepka.
Again, Sarepka is one of those players too that's just so smart in terms of her body position and how she chooses to get her body between that player and the ball. Very, very smart. She knows exactly where she is on the field when she is drawing those fouls, setting Alabama up for a potentially really dangerous set piece.
Here's the service. Deep into the box, offense sends Tanner, and good deflection by the Gators right at the line.
Yeah, great defending there. They had all posts covered.
Tanner, Reyes fighting for it. How about Reyna Reyes?
How about it?
How about Riley Parker? To the center with Sarepka. Good deflection by Tausel.
Yeah, great deflection and great defending collectively from Florida. They just collapsed on Alabama.
Now Tanner trying to get ready for this attack. Final minute. Alabama with a 2-goal lead against Florida, and the fans can feel it. This program has done so much already this year. A record 15 wins. Win tonight will make it 12. Now getting closer to that SEC championship. All the way back to Cad Rogers. 2014, that fall, it was Florida State winning a national championship. An assistant coach on that squad, Wes Hart, he was hired in April of 2015 to be the head coach for the Alabama Crimson Tide. He had just helped the Seminoles do something they had never done before. That's win the national title. And now here in 2022, 8 years later, he has delivered on the promises he made to some recruits like Riley Parker along with Cad Rogers about Alabama. You can be a champion here. And there's a new champion in Tuscaloosa, the Alabama Crimson Tide, the 2022 SEC Soccer Champions, the first soccer championship in school history.
I'm speechless. It's just such a great, great night for Alabama soccer. It is a wonderful night for Coach Hart and his staff, but an even better one for his team. I mean, they have been working hard, I think, since the day they stepped on campus, and so I can't think of a better night for this to all culminate for them. Congratulations to Alabama soccer.
An outstanding senior class on their senior night. They will never forget this one. A 2-0 victory against Florida, and now they'll get to celebrate with these fans that have been such a huge part of what is now a 16-match home winning streak here in Tuscaloosa.
It's pretty amazing. I feel like every time we talk and we're calling a game, we're talking about another record that this team is breaking from last week that they just set. So just an outstanding season for Alabama women's soccer. It almost seems like a bit of a dream for them, I'm sure. But it's real, and they're there, and they've done it.
They certainly have. Now they get the SEC champion gear, the hats, the t-shirts that they have worked so hard for. Alabama, a perfect 9-0 in league play, have a chance for a perfect season in SEC play coming up with a win against rival